Hello and welcome to another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, Uncle Joe McLaughlin, and he's JP's first son, Tim Howie. I just brushed my teeth, so all of a sudden I got a
Right.
little,
There were two mix in there.
little
Mc, Mc,
toothpaste.
Mc,
Uncle
Mc,
Joe
Yeah,
McLaughlin.
he's
I
he's not
know.
he's not used to having this many Irishmen around.
yes, yes.
Oh, well, it's another great show for you tonight. So, boys, let's get it started. We're going to start with the Boston Celtics, the 18th time world champion Boston Celtics. They raised the banner on Tuesday. I have to be honest with you. I hate ceremonies. I hate sports ceremonies. They're always boring, and people get so excited about them. Did you guys watch the ceremony?
I did, yeah.
I was tied up. I didn't get to watch anything, but I
Joe,
watched. I watched the replay of the games. You know what I mean?
Joe, does the ceremony do those things do anything for you?
Oh, I liked it. I liked just the way things played out, and they kept it short and sweet. I was horrified there that TNT had a commercial break and made everyone sit on their hands for 3 minutes while
Yeah.
they ran commercials. Well, I was wondering what they did in the garden for that.
Yeah, well, I think they ran some video, but look, it was nice to see Bob Cousy there, Timmy.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, he's how many generations does he span?
Well,
He's
he's the 50.
96.
I mean, he
96.
he touches. He broadcasted. He's just been Mr. New
Coach.
England basketball. You know?
Oh yeah, Cousy's great,
Oh,
and
yeah, because he played the Holy Cross.
Yeah.
He was the magician there. That's why we got him back in those days in the NBA. You had you had regional picks. You got all the kids from your region.
he
The
really had.
Holy Cross was a major power back then too.
Heinsohn too.
Yep.
2 years
Yep.
after.
Yep.
Joe, who's still around from that era? Cousy and Sanders, right?
See,
Is there
that's it,
anyone
right?
else?
Oh God, yeah. The Jones boys have gone. Everyone's gone.
Heinsohn, of course, is gone. I mean, I think it's just him and
The
Sanders, right?
Kentucky Colonel
Yeah.
Frank
Yeah.
Ramsey. He's
Uh,
long gone.
what is Coos 97 or something like that?
96, I think.
Yeah.
That's once he was a
And he
nine.
looks young. Other than being in a wheelchair, he looks like he's 30 years younger than
I,
that.
I read an article. The reporter was chatting with him. He said he was sharp as a tack.
Yeah.
He
But
could have been sitting in the booth doing the game.
he may be able to walk, but he just, obviously, in
Yeah,
that situation, he probably can
like
manipulate
me, like
powers.
me in the supermarket on my scooter.
Yeah. Right, but
I don't think they want him walking around with hundreds of people on the floor,
no, no, no.
jostling and everything.
But everything's far away when you go to the garden. Everything's far away from your car and everything.
Yeah.
There's too much walk. It's like the airport. But
Yeah.
looked in great shape. The one thing about this team beyond their talent, I just think they're so likable.
Wait
Every
1 second.
night,
I just want to get back to the ceremony for 1 second, even though I didn't watch it. It's ceremonial. Like you have to do it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? You have to mark the moment in time. So
yeah.
it,
No, I
it's a,
know a lot
it's
of
a
people like it.
necessary thing. It's a necessary thing.
No, Timmy, I know a lot of people like it. I just find them very boring.
I'll tell you, the worst one I ever went to was Paul Pierce's Hall of Fame night
Mm.
with the Celtics. The retirement of his number.
Yeah.
That was horrendous night. That was
He went on and
so.
on, right?
Mm.
It was just so. It was just. I couldn't wait for it to end. You know what I mean? It was terrible.
Yeah,
The
You
way
could
it was.
tell
The
he
way it
was
was
dying
done.
to say something the other night too, but they wouldn't let him.
yeah. And Joe and I went to the Wade Boggs
Oh, that was a joke. Remember, they
number
got guys from other
retirement.
teams.
Yeah, we were there.
It was like Ryan Sandberg or something there.
Yeah, I mean, they were having like Kenny the usher. I think we had a chair.
They had a chair out in the field. But the
You know.
Pedro one was good. Remember, I went with you to the Pedro one. That was good.
Yeah, no,
I'll
Pedro was
tell
there.
you, the Sox used to really know how to do that stuff.
Yeah, they did.
They had some very like the All Star Game thing.
Yeah,
They had the Sox. What was that guy James who was running
Dr. Charles.
Dr.
Doctor,
Charles there.
man, he knew how to put
Yeah,
together those ceremonial nights.
Russ and I talked to him in Worcester. He runs the Woo Sox now.
Really.
So yeah, we talked. I see him at
He
Zaftings.
was with Lucchino, remember?
Yeah, Dr. Charles.
Oh.
He's a pain in the ass, but he definitely knows what he's doing when it comes to that stuff.
Oh, he
Yeah.
set the standard around here. The Patriots, the Celtics, the Bruins have all copied everything of his.
Yeah. Look, but
Oh, guys, I got to go refill my letter. I'll be right back.
Oh,
Joe, to the current roster, I mean, obviously, this is one of the most talented rosters. Would you agree in the history of the Celtics? First of all, would you agree with that?
yeah. Oh, certainly.
But
Especially the starting five.
they're so eminently likable.
Yeah.
Every player on that team, it's like they could be a Saturday cartoon special. Every one of that team have their own particular personalities. They're not boring. They're interesting. It's fun to watch them succeed.
They're all happy to be here. They're all having a good time. They're all and they're all doing it with a smile on their face. No one is disgruntled. No one is saying, I should get the ball more. No one. It's a very perfect situation right now. The other night, the two Jays were spectacular.
Yeah,
they were way better than they were at any time last year.
We would miss any of these players, the main players, if they didn't play for the Celtics. We would miss them, as opposed to like, screw them, root against them the rest of their career. Not that way. And
a good thing is too, they're all signed, sealed, and delivered.
Yeah.
There's no contract coming up, dispute. They've all bought into this common goal thing, make the extra pass. They're not. It seems at this moment they're not worried about statistics. They're not worried about exposure. They're all on the same wavelength.
Well, the NBA better look out, because what was keeping them down was not winning a title. Was that the monkey on their back? And now that they have that title, I think the sky's the limit. I don't think they feel pressure, and I think they can just succeed. This is going to be a tough out for any team in the NBA.
On top of that, Scotty, Brown is just hit or is about to hit 28. Yeah. Tatum's a year behind.
Yeah,
I mean, this is it. The next 4 years are
you got to get
D White is young.
You got to get one more at least, minimum.
Oh yeah.
You can't. This cannot be a KG.
Well, I think if this is they're gonna, after this year, they're in trouble as far as.
Well, I think they have 2 more years. They can where
they have this year and maybe the year after.
Yeah,
there's a lot of roadblocks in their way on the year after.
Well, they're just restrictions. But again, Joe, you bring this up a lot. They're not interested in it. They don't need to acquire new players. So they lose.
Oh, yeah, they're happy with what they got.
They lose their first round pick. Who gives a crap?
And they've been able to develop guys. Look at Hauser was an undrafted guy that they drafted through the G League.
Yeah.
Pritchard's a guy they've developed as a draft pick. Come along.
Any guy they were to draft, it would be at the end of the first round, which was almost equivalent to a second round. And in this lineup, you're not cracking this lineup at best for 2-3 years.
Yeah. Well, if I had a master plan right now, say if we win again this year, right? All of our players will be the most desired players in the league. Like everybody wants a champion. They think they have the group. They need a D White to get them over the top. They need a whoever. That's when you take one of those guys and go out and get a top 3 draft pick.
I don't know if they're going to give you that.
Yeah, no one gives.
Well, I don't know, but I mean, kind of reload. You know what I mean?
Well, no, there's no reason to do this. I think I don't agree with you.
No, I'm not talking about now. I'm talking in 2 years, Scotty.
I ride this pony.
Remember, Red Auerbach always said, how do you stay on top? He said, because the best time to make deals is when you're on top.
Yeah.
Everyone overestimates the value of what you have.
Exactly.
Underestimates the value of what they
have. There'll be a lot of young teams out there. They'll think they need a Celtic to bring that vibe into their team, to get them over the edge.
But we got to get something back in return,
Well, that's what I mean. But that's when you can swindle somebody.
Well, how many did the Warriors win in recent times? What did they win? 3? They won 3, right?
Well, that's why the rules are written. No, they won. They won 5, didn't they?
No. If Timmy, if you have a chance to check that out, at least
Yeah.
3. But they didn't cave into that.
Well, that's why the new CBA was written to stop that from happening.
Yeah, no, I know they didn't. Well, they don't want the whole idea of like Timmy
You can buy it because a lot
add
of
They got
Durant.
15, 17, 18, and 22, so they had 4.
They had 4. Wow. Yeah. But see, there you go, Joe. They didn't cave into that too much.
oh
They
yeah,
kept the core.
he kept paying top
He did,
all
yeah.
that extra tax money and was worth it to him to keep the champion. But that's why the CBA has changed to keep you from doing that now.
Which is ridiculous because they were Uber team and people love Uber team.
And if you stop and think about it, in the last 6 years, it's been 6 different champions.
Yeah, well, there you go.
So we didn't need
broken.
the CBA to do that, But I think they were worried with guys like Ballmer and Allen coming in as owners that have, I mean, the billionaires. They're not multimillionaires anymore. These are billionaires, and they were afraid these guys would start buying teams.
Well, I think one of the things too was they were worried about the players, buddying up and trying to make super teams.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Like it kind of happened for a while. LeBron was picking his teams who has the best chance to win a championship. I'm going there. Harden, Durant. You remember Kyrie Irving? Do you remember they were? There was a couple of years there where the players were running the show. Absolutely,
there's no question. Absolutely, at the very least, that was the big talk around the league every day. And it just sounded bad too, because I mean, people want to identify with players and in these cities, and they're just jumping.
Oh yeah, the cities was. What do you want? They're giving them a blank check, basically, if you come here with LeBron, with Kyrie, with whoever.
And those guys, they only want to go to certain cities. They only want to go to Miami, LA, and New York.
So, what's the storyline for this season with the Celtics? Is it just purely stay healthy?
Do it again.
Scotty, you took the words right out of my mouth. Stay.
Well, I'm talking about the regular season. Yes, right, exactly.
Stay healthy.
Right? Is that our main?
That could be our only kryptonite is somebody gets a catastrophic injury.
Bumps and bruises are okay.
Yeah.
Bump shoulders, bum knees to be expected, but no fractures, please. No ACL.
Could this team sustain with one of the Jays going down?
Yeah, during the course of the regular season, they could.
If Porzingis was back, then you could sustain the loss of another person, but it's only one at a time. And right now, KP's out. He's out quite a bit.
It is like Celtics porn when I hear these national announcers. As good as the Celtics are doing, they're going, and this is without Porzingis.
There's a lot of Boston hate in the media. Oh my God. In fact, in the NBA, they're all acting. Nobody remembered who won the championship last year. They don't even want to talk about it.
And the best present. We should send Steve Kerr a thank you letter for dissing the Jays in the Olympic process, because if they ever needed motivation, they got it.
But you sound like Joe Mazzulla there, right there, Tim. That's what he's been preaching.
I'm telling you, man, they both have a fire under them. That lit a freaking fire under both of those guys.
Boy, did they play like demons the other night, huh?
Oh yeah,
they didn't play anything like that good in the playoffs.
They're hitting their peak,
Yes, they're at a confidence level that I've never seen before,
and they're battle tested. All those Eastern Conference finals that we, just missed. That's all coming. All of that is part of the ingredient now that is them.
But
didn't you love the dose of humble pie that the national media and the New Yorkers had to eat the other night when they just got run off the court in that first quarter? Run off the court.
They're losing by 50 points, and they're keeping the same dialogue. How the Knicks are great. They're the second best team in the
I know.
NBA.
You didn't read any of the papers the next couple of days.
Oh, I went right to the New York Post.
Oh, they were killing.
After a game like that, I
They're-
immediately go to the city that lost and look up the media.
Tim's
you
the
know,
king.
and,
Tim's the king of Schadenfreude.
Yeah, and then I go into the comment, and then I go through the comments section. I throw bombs. You know what I mean?
Well, Josh Hart said after the game, did you see his comments? He said they should have drug tested those guys.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
He was very good. He's a good personality.
But geez, he played terribly.
Yeah,
maybe the best comment.
They didn't even cover him. Did you notice that?
No.
They were putting Cornette or Horford out on him so that they could come back and rim protect, and play drop.
How do you say Schadenfreude?
Schadenfreude.
The greatest one ever was going into the comments section when Aaron Rodgers got hurt after the first game.
Oh, I bet.
I was in heaven.
Yeah, I'm sure you were. Look, the fact is that what you're going to see during the regular season, but what's going to be most important during the playoffs are these guys know how to win close games now. There's no panic in them. And that's what we saw with the old Celtics. They'd fuck around for 3 quarters and wait to the fourth quarter and then turn it on like great racehorses and go to the finish line.
Have you guys watched any of these? There's a lot of YouTube channels that break down the games. They break down the plays, things like that. And this offense the Celtics have is almost indefensible. They're putting 5 guys in the perimeter.
Yeah,
everyone on that team can shoot a 3. Well, who's ever had that?
Yeah, and then if you defend them out there in the perimeter, guess what? Easy baskets inside.
Oh, it's a free
That's the natural evolution of the game. I mean, Golden State brought it to 4 out, and they put Draymond down in the dunker position, and every team started doing 4 out in the dunker. Now, then last 2 years ago, when Missoula first came in, he went to the 5 out. Now every team in the NBA is going to 5 out.
Thompson would sit in the corner. That's all he would do. And they'd screw around and then throw to Thompson in the corner and he'd hit it every time.
Or if no one covered Draymond, give it to him for the dunk.
Yeah. Look, but you have to have the personnel to do that. You can
Right.
You could draw it up all nice and neat.
and then on the other end, they can all defend.
That's why on a team like Milwaukee, they're not playing modern basketball because they depend on Giannis, and that's not Giannis's game.
People forgot when we played Dallas. There's another half of the court that you have to defend.
Right.
You can have all the offense in the world, but if you can't defend, forget it.
If you just made 22 pointers and we made 23 pointers, you're down by 20 points. And you're playing pretty well. That was the thing with the Knicks. At one point, they were shooting 68% from the field and down by 23 points.
They were getting 2s and the Celtics were getting 3s.
Yeah. We're not going to shoot like that. We all know we're not going to shoot like that every night. We know that. But.
No, right.
They were 31 for 60, and if you subtract the last 13, that's 31 for like 47.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
We're gonna.
No one shoots that.
When we're really losing, I looked at in the guide. They show the shooting percentage. You know what I mean? Say the Celtics are really down, and that they got it by the end of the game. That is gonna come up. You know what I mean? That percentage is by the end of the game. Typically, most teams are typically with what they are. Shooting wise, but that was an aberration, of course. But it was a fun aberration, that's for sure.
Well, they were doing a great job. Almost all those 3s were wide open.
Oh,
we talked about height and how important that is in the NBA. Then when we compare a Pritchard to a Hauser, if we're supposed to be afraid of the Knicks, Brunson doesn't scare me because we can.
You had Jaylen Brown, who's got 3 inches and 30 pounds on him, and muscle pounds, and he just buried Brunson.
You can bury Brunson anytime. This team can bury them anytime because they throw a White or a Holiday. He's nothing. And then if you double team Brunson, he's not getting a shot off.
But he looked fabulous in the playoffs last year, Scotty. Fabulous.
He
Well,
was.
he's also playing guys that weren't bigger than him.
Yeah.
And the Celtics can throw Holiday or Brown on him. They're not going to put D White on him, but they'll put the big guy on him and kind of muscle him around, and that tires him out too.
Look,
He's not used to being muscled.
We're a bad matchup for the Knicks. Our system does not match well for the Knicks.
You know what's funny, Scotty? The Knicks tried to design themselves to match up to the Celtics. It was obvious. That was their whole mission. You know, they gave away their whole future too, right? I mean, they're like devoid. They're like
well, a lot of it was to sell clicks and selling newspapers. They were getting all those Villanova guys together with Bridges. It's a great story. Brunson, Bridges, Hart. They're all from Villanova. And
they gave away the farm though for some of those guys. Right?
But also they gave away their toughness. I tell you, I would not have traded Randall straight up for Towns. I think Randall really made that team tough. He gave up an edge. I mean,
Towns was like a liability out
there. Towns, he's soft. He just wants
very
to
soft.
Yeah. He
great shooter for a big man, but he's still soft.
I mean,
he doesn't play a lot of D.
That was the whole idea with the whole Timberwolves team last year. That I thought Towns was soft. I mean, it was just Anthony Edwards. I mean, you watch those.
Towns plays the same game as Al Horford, and Al Horford's 39, and he deserves to play that game.
You're right.
Cat's 26. He shouldn't be playing that.
And the Wolves got a bounty for him, right?
Well, they got Randall, DiVincenzo.
Bridges, they gave up more, I thought.
That DiVincenzo's a good player.
He's a
good shooter.
Right?
He's the kind of guy you want in a 5-out offense because he can shoot lights out.
But he's willing to take the big shot. He's got no fear in that stuff. And he's a New Yorker. And he was, and then also I think they gave up another first-round pick. They gave up like 6 first-round picks in the offseason, I think.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
They'd stockpiled the whole mess. And first-round picks really aren't worth that much unless you're in the top 5.
Yeah, I know. You can get a franchise changer though in the top 3. You know what I mean?
Well, you can get a franchise changer anywhere. Giannis.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Kawhi, Leonard. I mean, there's definitely
Kawhi, yeah.
Kawhi, yeah. All of a sudden,
you got Kyrie on the mind.
Yeah, but look, the Knicks are not a team I worry about. I worry about, and I'm going to say it each week, it's the Pacers. That's a team.
The team to worry about is Orlando. They're bigger than us. They're stronger than us. They're younger than us, and they're faster than us. They just don't know how to win yet. When they learn how to win, they're going to be dangerous.
All right.
I would take that Paolo Banchero over. You can have your Anthony Edwards. The best young star is going to be that Banchero.
Yeah.
How tall is he?
Oh, Wembanyama. Oh, Banchero is huge. He's
Wemby. Huge. Yeah, Wemby's going to be.
Wemby's going to be the biggest star, but Banchero will be right behind him
until our guy from Maine comes.
And he's not on the same planet as those guys.
How do we get him? It should be a territorial thing.
Like the old days, like getting Kuzi and Heinsohn.
Look.
Will he be the first pick his draft year?
Oh yeah.
Maybe there's a kid at Rutgers that could be the first.
Oh, is that right?
He's a freshman too. Everyone's one and done. You know that.
You sure that Auerbach didn't write something?
The kid at Rutgers. Oh, he's got a hockey name, Ace Bailey.
Really?
You sure that he didn't write something like? Look, I'm sure Auerbach could have said, "Hey, when they started the league, if any guys from Maine." And they probably all would have laughed, drank a lot. If we get a guy from Maine that we want, is it all right? And they
we'll let you have this. We'll let you have the circus 3 times this year.
Yeah, exactly. Maine. Think about this, but Maine.
Well, we had all of New England as our territorial. We got first dibs on anyone from the New England area.
Is that how
the Knicks get back then the Knicks get all the New York kids then?
Yes.
Is that how we got Heinsohn and Kuzi or no?
Yep. They went to Holy Cross. Now they weren't New Englanders.
No, because
Cousy was from Jersey.
so is
And I think
Heinsohn.
yeah. But they went to Holy Cross, so they were in our territory. It was what school you went to.
So I went to high school with Heinsohn's kid, Paul Heinsohn.
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, big. He played football at Duke.
Was that right?
Yeah,
He must have been
kid.
big. Yeah, I mean, his father was huge.
Tiny.
I know, kind of sad, very sad that Tom Heinsohn wasn't around for this
I know.
championship. I mean, Cousy is Cousy, but Heinsohn was the Celtics.
Remember, you think Cousy was the announcer before Heinsohn.
But they used to be
He
together.
retired, yeah.
No, but then they were together. For
Yeah.
many years.
Do you remember Heinsohn as a coach throwing chairs across the court?
Oh my God!
No one worked the refs like him.
Oh my God, he was.
I
was
love
great.
I love Tommy Heinsohn. Oh my God, how could you not? I mean, he should have been just being able to come back for the ceremony and then go back and be dead again. But Heinsohn was a legend. But I would say Heinsohn is the truest Celtic of all. Would you agree?
Havlicek?
No, because when you talk about the extent of the coaching, the announcing, and
Well,
stuff,
he was the most involved with the team through the longest.
yeah. Would you agree,
Yeah.
Joe?
Player, coach,
Cousy's
announcer.
longer, but Heinsohn was more involved.
Yeah, Cousy had
If you had to pick one
stops
Celtic
in other. Cousy had stops in other towns, right? Too.
Yeah, I always think
Coaching.
Mr. Red Sox is Johnny Pesky.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Mr. Celtic.
Heinsohn was a Celtic through every facet, all the way through.
Yeah.
Player, coach, announcer, right?
Well, it's
But
fun.
he never coached anywhere else, did he?
Can you imagine?
No.
Tommy was a heavy smoker. He'd go at timeouts. He'd go have a butt.
Oh yeah, he smoked. Yeah, well, even when he was announcer, he'd go at halftime and you see him smoking in the tunnel.
Can you imagine being able to play basketball like that and be a smoker? Jeez.
And he was like drinking when he was announcing like 10 Cokes at a game, and then eating candy, and then smoking cigarettes. And this guy, he lived to what was he? Was he about 85?
6'8". Imagine the work his heart had to do to
Holy shit! He's
get
I
blood,
think he
get
might have
blood
been
to that
90.
gigantic
He was
body.
No, I don't
late
think he got to-
80s anyways.
I don't think he gets to 90, but it's going to be a fun season, though. This breaking news from the Grandstanders live desk: we're down 19-14 against Washington. Oh my God, panic! They
22-17, they're down by 5.
Trade them all. Trade them all.
I just love this team. I'm so glad. I plan on as much as possible watching every game this season.
It's quite the lineup they got out there. Tillman, Cornette.
I'm going to check DraftKings, see what the spread is at the moment.
It was 14 to start the game.
Oh, it was?
Let's see what DraftKings has to say.
It might be down to like 10 now.
What's that? They're down by 10?
No, it might the spread might be down by till 10, about 10.
I tell you, I'm having a little fun with this mid-game gambling stuff.
Okay. That's
in the NBA, it's a game of runs.
So I did a little parlay last night with with Milwaukee and the Pacers. So the Pacers had won already, and it was a 10. The parlay I get in at -10, and then it went up to 13. So it was just a $10 bet to win. It was 10 to win 40. So I put 10 to hedge it. You know what I mean? After I had won one.
Yeah.
And then, it was like, you could buy out of it for $5 at one point but it was obvious I was going to win the other one. So I get out with the $5 loss, and I won 40 on the other end.
The cash out option, yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
Hey, Joe, when are we going to plan the intervention? When he's doing in-game betting.
My problem.
When he's betting shots, who gets the next basket? That's when you're in trouble.
I enjoy the in-game spread stuff more than I enjoy. You can get a feel for how the teams are doing, kind of,
Okay, Timmy. Come into the room, Timmy.
The
Just
the
practice.
Patriots.
Joe, let's
I
practice
tell
we
you,
love
my
you.
most fun I had was that when the Patriots against the Jets, you could just tell they were getting destroyed. You knew the Patriots after the first 3 minutes. You knew the Patriots didn't have a chance in that game, and I doubled up on
Joe,
that
I'll
one.
distract him while you get rid of the app.
I'll erase it on his.
Yeah, man.
The Bruins,
Uh,
however, are winning 1-0,
Oh, all right.
nice.
We'll
and I
talk
think Pasternak scored.
All
about
right, the Celtics is still minus 6.5, nine and a half,
was-
nine and a
we
half,
have to go to
minus
the
9.5.
we have to go to the Patriots. And I mean, do you guys want to apologize now? You want to wait?
I think you might have overestimated how many wins they're going to get by saying 3.
No, I said 8.
Oh, that was your first one, but
Yeah, 3.
your official one was 3.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, would you agree that he is the Messiah?
He looked better last week than he did the week
And
before.
he
He
is
improved.
I told you guys, and you laughed at me this summer. He is going to be the most important athlete in this town in a couple years.
We'll see about that.
Scotty, I don't know if this organization, currently situated the way it is capable of digging themselves out of the hole that they have dug in 3 years. I really don't.
Well, no, it's going to take a while. There's no question about it. Yeah.
They
For,
really
for,
dug themselves a hole this offseason. This
and and
offseason
and
was
with
terrible.
the front office they have now, I don't think is capable of making the personnel decisions that are going to be necessary to get them out of this for a while.
And that's a great point, Timmy. I agree with you. We're
I
talking
agree
about
100%.
tanking for what? So he can trade down and then fuck up all the draft picks that he gets. I mean, first of all, he was drafting on top of every round this this draft, the current 24 draft, right? So he was the third pick of every round.
Second pick of every other round.
Yes. So you could say right now confidently, and I mentioned this last week, that you couldn't get for any of his draft picks a seventh round pick other than Drake May. If you try to trade him, trade any of those guys right now, could you get any more than a seventh round pick?
Well, I'll tell you, they've lost all their scouts and all their over the years. They've had a serious brain drain there. All the other teams have taken away this.
I know, Joe, and you've said it. I know. I agree.
System, and they have, and Kraft hasn't replaced them.
No, but Joe and Timmy, would you agree that if you attempted to, at the deadline, trade any of the draft picks that they drafted in 24, other than of course the Messiah, that they could not get any more than a seventh round pick for any of them?
That's
Probably not.
possible. That might be a little high seventh, but no, I mean that might be a little low. I should say it that way. Maybe I don't know.
Who? Okay.
Yeah, Scotty, you're right. You're right.
Polk has been a disaster. Polk has been including having the worst attitude, one of the worst attitudes on the team. He's just, and you look at PFF, he's the worst wide receiver in football.
Oh, is he?
The worst wide receiver.
And we thought Nikhil was a bad draft.
Yeah, and this guy's even worse. Remember,
Why are we so bad?
They're basically the same pick, too.
That's
right?
Why are we so
right,
bad?
Joe, yeah.
Why are we so bad? I mean, we should hire like a consulting firm to pick up freaking wide
Because
receivers.
we've lost all our scouts and Kraft hasn't replaced them.
Okay, Joe. Yeah, exactly. Why aren't we hiring talent from other teams?
Right. Because he doesn't want to pay them.
Like Kraft always has to bring, the ex-ball boy is now the head of personnel. You know what I mean? Why aren't we pilfering other teams for talent? Because
people
Kraft
don't talk
doesn't want
about
to pay
this.
him.
You're right, Timmy. People don't talk about Wolf and Grow. They're the ones who are telling Bill who to draft.
That was just
year.
Bill's nepotism, was taking care of his buddies. Al Groh was his old assistant coach.
Yeah.
So bring his son in. Wolf, he likes those old time, Belichick likes the old time football people. I'll take care of Ron Wolf's kid and bring him here, give him a job.
Well, Belichick's not here anymore, so they can't blame him. The Kraft family has to go out and identify talent evaluators, and I'll pay them to come here.
Andy Reid hired half the scouting staff there.
Yeah, it all comes from the alligator arms at the top. They don't want to pay top top people to evaluate talent. They don't want to do it. They think that they can do everything cheaper and smarter than everybody else.
Also lazy. They're lazy too, Timmy. They didn't bring anybody new in other than Van Pelt, who's a joke, who's on the street.
Oh yeah, because he's getting paid by the Browns still.
They love to do that.
They all got fired.
Yeah, bring someone else in who's getting paid somewhere else.
We saw it.
Look,
that's starting to, we had, Brady obviously covered a lot of mistakes. He hit a lot of stink on that thing over there. And now that he's gone, and it's showing up.
We had one of the worst teams in football last year. There are plenty of positions open for these players to be drafted, to play a lot of time and to contribute. Other than Drake May in these 2 games, we've had no contribution from any of the other draft picks.
And they tried to keep him out for all of them.
The Polk disaster, right? Polk,
kid from Penn State.
Wallace, complete disaster. Now he's out for the season, it looks like. Layden Robinson, complete disaster.
No, wasn't the 4th round pick Baker?
Yeah. Right. Well, did they have 2 4th-round picks?
Oh, maybe it was because
Robinson and Baker. Baker's a complete joke. He never even play for the Patriots. The 5th-round pick was who? I don't even remember. But none of these guys are 6th-round pick. Just
no one's contributing other than May these last 2 games. Granted, he's contributing a lot, being the quarterback.
Yeah, you wonder if these players would be, in a different organization, would they be doing better?
Yes, Tim, that's it. They got lousy coaches. All these kids got to be coached up to play professional.
Because I do remember looking at the draft when it was done, right? We were all pretty happy with it.
Well, yeah, we were happy. I was happy because of the Messiah, but otherwise, I don't know any of these guys.
But I mean, the word on the street, the scouting reports, we seemed pretty content with the picks when they were done.
Okay,
we all knew we needed to go out and get one of the best receivers in the country, and Polk was supposed to be one of those guys, right?
Well, you got to have a good wide receivers coach that can coach them up. They got a retread from that was someone's brother-in-law from Cleveland.
Here's the
same
draft.
thing. They draft 2 offensive linemen. What do they get? A guy that's a karate coach.
Drake May, Polk, Wallace, Robinson, Baker, Marcellus Dial. I don't know anything about him. Joe Milton, and then Bell. None of these guys have contributed anything other than the Messiah. And that's pathetic.
And they would have kept him on the sideline if they could have.
Yeah,
right?
But none of these guys will ever contribute. I mean, if you're not playing right now, you're never playing.
Well, Polk and the kid from Penn State will stick around just because of their contracts.
Right.
They got to pay him anyways. You don't think Bob Kraft's going to pay guys millions of dollars to sit home?
But Joe, I mean, Timmy, you made a great point. Look at a guy like Sidney So. Sidney So is supposed to be have developed a second-year player, and he's regressed in this coaching staff with Scott Peters. He's regressed. No, he was.
Look at the clown show Belichick had here for the last couple of years with Matt Patricia and freaking the guy from the Giants there. I mean,
yeah, well, that was Kraft demanding he bring.
Yeah, well, you think
Patricia.
That was Kraft? That wasn't Belichick.
No, Patricia. That's a Kraft guy.
Yeah, I mean, so Kraft's got his own shit to wallow in right now. You know, this is all. I'll blame it all
on Joe Judge.
People.
I would have, but remember, they brought him in. They're getting paid by the
they loved it. They thought they were getting over on everybody. You know what I mean?
Well, they thought they were the smartest guy in the room.
I'm putting this whole thing in the Kraft's lap.
I agree with you. And needless to say, May is signed for 5 years. I mean, they're going to have to pay him big bucks
Well,
They're
he's
gonna
only
get,
signed for 4. They have the option for the 5th year.
well, they're obviously going to take it. But
in my opinion, right now, I'm saying it. He has to go.
who?
Oh, Mayo, not May.
Mayo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mayo.
He's over his head. He's over his head.
He's over his head at so many levels. He
Yeah.
does.
Well,
I think
they gave him such a lousy coaching staff to work with, too. They really didn't give him much of an organization, and they didn't fill in any gaps in the upper management either. They haven't supported him in any way, shape, or manner.
they
They
should
left
have
him
got
out
an
with nothing.
experienced assistant head coach, Joe. They should have brought.
I agree. They should have had someone stay. Hey,
A bench coach in baseball, like a Don Zimmer type.
yeah, a Butters,
Yeah, should have been there and not. But
a Millsy.
first of all,
I mean, I like the guy a lot on a personal level.
Yeah.
But he's just over his head right now.
he's not
Well,
qualified.
all first-year coaches are to one extent or another, but
Not
I
this-
think he's really been hung out to dry. He has no support from above. They gave him nothing to work with, and then they say, "Well, how come he didn't do the job?" You know?
No, he's over his head, Joe.
Oh yeah, you can see that, and he's learning. Joe Mazzulla was over his head his first year.
You
Not like
wonder
second
what
year-
you want.
Second year, he grew and was 10 times better.
But you wonder how many hours of sleep Mayo's getting a night.
Not many.
Not many.
He's probably just sitting there staring at the ceiling, going, "What the f do I do tomorrow?" You know.
Well, first of all, he talks too much. He talks to
Yeah.
the media, and
Yeah.
he's too and
He's too honest.
yeah. I don't even know if it's honest. I don't know what a lot of things that he should never be saying to the press and the
You
public.
can be honest and not say anything,
Yeah.
in so many words.
I think he's trying to be the opposite of Bill B. I think he is. I think he's.
You know, a
trying-
lot of times I remember this. You know, before I was supervisor or boss anywhere, I said, if I was the boss, I'd do it this way,
Yeah.
and I'd do it that way, and I'd do it this way. And then you become the boss, and you realize why
That
the
way
heck
don't
the
work.
boss was doing it the way they were doing it. You know,
Right.
after you
Exactly.
get stung a few times
Mhm.
by employees that you stick up for who are just, abusing their relationship with you because they don't want to do their job. You know,
Well, I've never seen this wide receiver room with less talent and bigger mouths.
I know.
Right? They all run their mouth. Guys
like there's
Baker,
somebody. They're all
But-
Grant. It's like the Grant Williams Club. You know what I mean?
At least
But
Grant
the
Williams
Van Pelt
played.
crew couldn't run Troy Brown out of town fast enough, could they?
Did Polk really said I have the best hands in the fucking league? I
Yes.
mean,
More than
come
one.
on, Jesus Christ! You know,
And Baker keeps on running his mouth. He's never caught a pass. I don't even know if he's been activated yet.
what's he saying?
Well, he was a troublemaker before. I didn't know this.
He's had the traffic stop thing too.
But in this KJ Osborne, who I don't even know who he is, he wants to be traded.
He's the free agent they sprung for.
What did they traded?
These free agents they sprung for. This KJ Osborne has caught maybe 2 passes. The other guy, the left tackle that left town after 2 games, was the other guy they
Well-
signed as a free agent.
Well, if I was on that team right now, I'd probably want to be traded too.
Look,
It's
this
gotta-
guy was
it's
willing to
gotta
write a
suck.
check to leave.
It's gotta suck being on the Patriots right now. It's gotta suck.
He wasn't a guy that made money anywhere. He was like a 5th round pick that played a little with the Steelers, and then so he didn't get a lot of money when he's playing with the Steelers, and he just walked away from the Patriots contract.
No, I think he had to hand them a check so he could leave.
Yeah,
Like part of his bonus money, he had to give back.
Did he
Look
retire
at
from
two
football?
guys.
Did he quit?
Yeah.
He's out of football.
There was Watts, and then there was this guy you're talking about, right? He had like an African.
Okafor was
Yeah. And Watts from the Steelers. You think the Steelers are going to let the Patriots get good players from them? Come on. Really? You think they're stupid?
Hmm.
So, how far, the big question, boys, is how far away are we? 3 years? 4 years?
As the front office is currently situated, I'll say 5 or 6.
I'm a
Wow.
5-year guy myself, to tell you the truth.
Like, I
You
think
don't
this thing
have
has to just be blown up.
Mm.
Other than the boy wonder, everything has to be blown up. The front office, the coaching staff. I mean, I don't see the Kraft selling the team anytime soon. But they got to get a really, really respected guy in there as a general manager. Like a really, like pay somebody
Well, they're not
twice
going to.
what.
They're not going to trade Wolf.
I know they're not gonna,
They're
but
not
that
going to fire Wolf. I can tell you that right away.
wow. I mean, how much shit is Kraft willing to eat?
Mayo,
You know,
Mayo, and Van Pelt will go.
why not?
I think they get another year. I think Wolf
well,
gets.
yeah, Mayo gets another year, but
No.
like
Mayo
when
does not get another year. No.
when Parcells came here under Orthwine, he got Orthwine to get rid of Bobby Greer. Remember, Bobby Greer
Yeah,
was
Yeah.
president, and he put in and Parcells put in all his people now, which are also some of Belichick's guys too, down the line. So when so he was able to turn it around in like 2-3 years, right?
yeah.
Then
Well, Bledsoe
Belichick
helped.
was
It
able
didn't
to
hurt
turn
getting
it.
Drew Bledsoe. It did not
Yeah.
hurt.
No,
But
no.
they
Having the
also
number one
surrounded him.
pick, nice.
They
But
started they started building. They started drafting and really, really, really well then too.
and Belichick built on that with after the Pete Carroll years, the people that were still there, and he brought in more of his guys and old Parcells guys. Because remember, Parcells is now in Dallas at that time, and not everyone went with them. Wanted to stay in the Northeast. They stayed with Belichick, and he was able to turn it around in 2 years with a little bit of luck too. And Tom
Well,
Brady.
they had Ty Law, they had Willie McGinnis, who was the big
Oh yeah,
lineman that
there
they
was
had.
a good core.
They were drafting well. They were assembling a talented group there.
Well, that was the Parcells and Belichick people, even during the Carroll years, that was still there running things.
Yeah, look, Mayo's gone, Joe, after this year, no matter what you say.
You think you kind of got to give him a year. They didn't give him anything to work with,
So
No.
you don't think this
neither
general
in
manager's
personnel
getting
or management.
you don't think this general manager's getting a hard look at him right now?
The general manager's doing exactly what he's been told to do: tank.
Yeah, no,
But does that mean drafting horrible players, Joe?
I wouldn't think so. But you got to have coaches to coach these guys up, or they're still just college kids, right?
yeah, but
They got to be taught how to be a professional.
But Joe, you have the idea that Van Pelt is enough.
No, he's not.
You know what I'm saying? Is
he was
enough.
nothing.
You fire Van Pelt, and that is all.
He's been
okay.
fired by 5 other teams.
I know that doesn't. We need more than we need that.
Well, there were lots of guys, but they didn't want to pay him.
No, but we need more skin than that. Right? That's not going to be enough. You're not going to say, "Oh, we fired Van Pelt. Let's move on."
Well,
No
when you
way.
fire Van Pelt, you're also firing the wide receivers coach, the
Running back.
offensive line coach, and the running back coach. Remember, they came as a package deal.
No, you
All
fired
paid for
everybody
by the-
because look, it's probably variable. I would assume it's variable
Well,
because
remember the relationship. Bob Kraft kicked him out of town because he opened his mouth there about Patriot Place. Sent him to Kansas City for nothing. Nothing.
what's the deal with this guy Ben Johnson? Was he out of Detroit?
Well, they're Detroit's the current favorite right now. That's the team you should be modeling yourself after. The
Yeah.
team that
Well, Detroit took a big hit with Aiden Hutchinson going down. I'll tell you that.
But this
he,
whole
he was he the number one overall, or he was close to it?
yeah.
I'll tell you what. He's a dead ringer for my son Ryan. Dead ringer.
Can we just
Great-
stop
great-
with the whole
great
Patriots way thing? That left with Tom Brady.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the culture that culture has disappeared now. It's gone.
They have to bring it back. But Timmy, you made a great point for the last couple of years. You talked about the locker room culture and how important guys like Slater and McCourty were, and though their talents may have diminished, it was important to keep those guys on the team. Those guys retired, and they
That's
didn't.
what
Those are hard to
Bel-
replace, and they didn't do that.
Belichick knew that. I know Belichick had a rough couple years, but Belichick always made sure, and he probably strategically placed their lockers in certain places.
Yeah.
It went from Willie McGinnis to my senior moment here. Who was our
They had
linebacker?
so many guys.
You know what
Hightower.
I mean?
Brewski,
Hightower, Brewski.
Law,
The Brewski's the name. I was Ty Law, Lawyer Malloy.
Vrabel.
I mean, Vrabel, they weren't going to allow you to go fucking mouth off to cops and embarrass the team. You know what I mean? Any real team, really, it's the locker room that polices itself. You know what I mean? The coach comes in, says his thing, and he leaves. It's the leaders in the locker room that police what's acceptable and what is not acceptable to be a teammate.
As far as outside the locker room, they lost a very important guy. Remember, Kraft used to have that guy that had been a state police captain who knew every police chief in every town around there. And if any patriot acted up, it went to him first and everything got covered up and nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
When he retired, since he retired, what was it, about 11 or 12? We've had constant problems because they can't keep it under wraps anymore.
Yeah. You mean a guy named Aaron Hernandez, that guy?
Yeah.
Who was the guy who was smoking the synthetic marijuana walking around naked?
Jones.
Oh,
Chandler
Jones. That was sad. Was naked. What naked in the police
Going
station?
into the police station.
Nude, right? Wasn't he?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was a good player. He was a good player too.
He's a sad one. No, he went crazy. Yeah. Once you start
Him and his brother's the same way. The one that's the
UFC guy. Yeah. Chandler Jones left a lot of money on the table because he's an absolute nut job.
Yeah.
That's a sad case because he seemed like a good guy.
He ended up with the Raiders, didn't he?
Yeah, but I think he ended up.
If you're crazy, synthetic marijuana is not a good attitude.
Yeah. While you're playing.
Yeah. That was before like the AFC Championship game, wasn't it? Like 2 days before the AFC Championship game.
They try to cover it up. But
the local police would have, because they always had, like the Foxborough police or the Walpole police, I forget which it was.
Yeah.
They always had covered those up, but then someone snitched.
Look, no history in this town is like Patriots history.
Remember that kid, the guy that was the guard, starting guard on the.
I know you love to tell the story. Go ahead.
Tim, he got busted with thousands and thousands of Oxycontins. He was running from Canada. He was Canadian, the starting right guard.
Yeah,
for the Patriots.
Starting right guard for the Patriots. And
what year? What year are we talking about?
Oh, we're talking about 2008, and it's around that.
Oh, I think earlier than that, Joe.
It might have been earlier than that. But they had such tight control. This guy got caught with like 10,000 Oxycontins. He was running them down for all the guys on the team from Canada. Every time it was the week break, and he went up to Canada to get Oxycontins for all the other linemen and everything. He gets nailed for about 10,000 of them in New York. You didn't hear anything about it. Like a year later, in the business pages of the Boston Globe, they're covering something else, and that pops up on the business page, and everyone goes, "How come we don't know this?" And it's not on the sports pages.
Oh my God! Of course they covered it up. I know.
They were very good at it in those days. Very good at it.
The history of that team.
The play, like to Tim's point, the players were cooperating. If they got caught, they said, "Go talk to the boss. I don't want anything more." And they didn't argue like, what's his name there? Go arguing with.
Barmo. Oh my God, that was so.
You didn't play.
Barmo was supposed to be one of the good guys in that team.
Yeah.
That's the irony. And he said,
I'm glad he apologized. But that script that was written was obviously written by his lawyer or his agent or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those fake apologies always are.
before we, and the Celtics are now up by 7, boys. Um, did you place a bet when it was 6.5, Timmy?
No, I didn't. No.
Um, before we finish up with the Patriots, and then we have to do predictions on this week's game against the Jets. Uh, quickly, who's on the offense?
Celtics by 1.
Oh, it's only by 1. Who would you keep in this offense? Who is untradeable right now in the offense other than the Messiah?
No one.
Henry's not playing bad.
No, I would right. So I'd keep the Messiah.
But he
Obviously.
takes the stupid motion penalties at the worst possible time.
He's been very good, Joe.
He's been very terrible about it.
Okay,
he lost us a game early in the year with the foolishness.
Messiah, Henry, Stevenson. I no reason to keep him if he puts the ball on the ground.
He had to be hurt last week because he sucked. He was a negative on every play he was in there.
Okay, so he's nobody we would keep. He's no one special. Who else is there on that offense that you would keep?
Is there one offensive lineman you would keep?
No. Owenu's been horrible this year. Horrific. Right, Joe? I would keep him.
Yeah, I think he's a kind of. I think he must be kind of a malcontent, to tell you the truth. Remember when he signed the contract? He signed, this is right tackle money, and they immediately tried to move him to left tackle. He said, "Oh no, I signed for right tackle money." And
he's been playing guard too at times, and he's been horrific in every part of that. No, but Joe,
they've been moving him around a lot. And I don't think he likes that. I mean, he's
okay, Joe. But other than Messiah and Henry, who would you keep?
No one.
No one. Timmy, Messiah.
That's it. No, Henry and him. That's it.
Okay, on the defense, Gonzo.
Well, how about Pop Douglas? You want to keep him?
Okay, I'll keep Douglas. Yes, right. Okay,
you would keep Douglas?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. But again, he's a slot receiver.
Hey, he's a slot receiver. They're a dime a dozen. You know?
But yes, I would keep him. Absolutely. Okay. On the defense, Gonzalez, Barmore, I would keep him.
Duggar.
Who else?
You can't keep Peppers.
No, but who else?
Well, Barmore. We already said Barmore.
Jennings has been a nice.
How about Keon White? They're gonna
Keon White
because of his contract. No matter what, he's going to be on the team.
No, that's Keon White. That's fine. Okay, so Keon White, Duggar, Gonzalez, Barmore, Jennings.
I mean, you're going to have to keep someone.
Then Bentley got hurt, but I would have kept Bentley. Obviously, would keep Bentley on the team, but otherwise, who else? I mean, the Jones boys have been terrible.
The punter.
But I'm saying the Jones boys have been. I think both of them have played horrific.
I'd keep Marcus just for the fact of his versatility. They haven't used. Remember how they used to use him on offense, and he was great.
Yeah,
they haven't used him at all this year.
They haven't. The thing about this, guys, there hasn't been one trick play. In fact, there hasn't been one trick play against them either. Did they take that all out of the NFL?
Well, right? You don't need to use trick plays against the Patriots. You just run right down their throats.
No, I know, but we don't do any trick plays anymore.
No, but it's a fun thing for the fans for another reason. And I liked Marcus Jones at that. That's what he's good in open space. We've seen him win games that way.
We haven't handed off to that guy, the wide receiver in motion,
the jet sweep type thing.
We haven't done that one time, have we?
Yeah, they've done it a couple times, but not effective.
Yeah. In the deadline, do we have anybody who would garner a 7th round pick that would be traded? Like, could you trade Jones for a 7th round pick?
I'm just going to digress here for a minute. These guys are obviously more talented than they're playing, right? I mean, we had the number 1 defense in the league last year, right?
No, not the number 1 defense. That's just Belichick
against the run. So, I have to step back for a second and go, are these guys as bad as they're appearing right now? Or is this just terrible coaching?
Both.
with better
Well,
coaches.
they've
Do we have some talent here?
the guys on the team have been grousing about not being put in the right position by the coaches and bad calls, things like that. But you see that finger pointing goes on in all bad teams. Whether
Any
the
team that's
coaches,
losing.
yeah.
Losing brings out the worst in everybody. It really does.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
And,
but I mean,
they're all pointing the finger at Keon White.
When you're winning, everyone is your best friend. Everyone's great. When you're losing, it sucks.
Oh my God, you're right. You just sent us those pictures. Oh my God, they look like twins.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Oh my. Oh,
Aiden
Ryan,
Hutchinson, multimillionaire.
Yeah.
Wow, he has grown up, that young man. My God, what a
Yeah.
handsome young man.
You guys got to go to one of his rugby games. He's
Oh
a
my
lot of
God,
fun.
yeah.
He's a lot of fun to watch.
Oh my God. Oh, the women must love that boy.
Oh yeah.
Little Hoey.
Collins in Greece right now, sending me pictures. Last weekend he was at the Patriots game. I got another picture. Him and Sebastian Vollmer at the game in London.
Is he going to any classes?
I don't know. All I know is my credit card is exploding. So Greece this week, Patriots game in London last week, Rome the weekend before, golfing in Ireland the weekend before that.
Wait, he's not going to class, is he?
I think he goes to one class a week or something. I don't even freaking know.
Sebastian Vollmer is the
30.
broadcaster for the German broadcast.
Yeah, he was at the game. Calling get a picture with him.
Yeah, he calls the game. He calls every game over there.
Colin's living the life, man. God bless him.
Oh my God. But Croatia,
Oh, that's
I
great.
mean, I'm like, oh, I've always wanted to go there my whole life. You're in this other country now. You're in the Greek islands. You're in Rome. You're in
Yeah, 'cause they
Croatia.
get cheap flights, right?
Yeah, they are cheap flights.
You're stealing my vacations.
Yeah, I think the flight to Ireland round trip was like $37 or something.
Oh my God, I know.
Yeah.
I always dreamed that Adrian and I just lived in London for a year.
You can go. You can zip off to any country in Europe, man, every week for like $150.
Oh, I know. That's what my.
Well, remember, it's like going to New Hampshire, or going to New York.
Yeah,
going to another Virginia. Country over there. Internet, the borders are much closer. It's more like states over there than countries.
Oh my God, so much fun! All right, boys, we got to go to the Boston Red Sox. First of all, we'll just talk about the World Series first.
Well, thank you for stopping talking about the Patriots. Thank you.
That was fun. Are you kidding me? I like to look, Timmy.
You gotta kick them when they're down.
Hey, come on. Can we conclude this? Does this whole thing start with the Crafts?
Of course it does. Yeah, of course it does. It starts
and their stinginess.
Yes, I mean,
well, see, I don't think they're particularly stingy. It's they always got away with it, and then now they're not.
All right, now that they're not, are they willing to flip the switch?
Well, they've got to know that that's the problem and change it.
They're going to have
go out and hire, spend money on top executives, spend money on top coaches.
They're gonna probably have the number 1 pick in the draft and the most cap space. If that's not an opportunity to literally
revamp a whole team,
and this isn't baseball where you got to ramp up the players for 3 or 4, 5 years. You know what I mean?
No, you can build an offensive line in one offseason.
Yep. Look at Kansas City; they did that. Remember, they lost the Super Bowl because they couldn't block. What did they do? They went out and bought a whole new offensive line.
You can go out and buy
all pros and everything.
You can go get 2 guys in the draft, 2 of the top 15 linemen in the country coming out of college, and you can get 2 stud linemen in free agency, and voila, you're there.
But look, we just named there's basically 10 guys who should play for the Patriots next year who are currently on the roster. The rest of the team you can replace. I mean, simply enough. And you have the money and the draft capital to do that.
Start, Scotty, with the talent evaluators. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You gotta get proven guys in there who are proven at picking talent. You can't go hunting for, guys with just learning how to do it. You know what I mean? You got to get seasoned pros in there.
But you guys would
Do it.
agree that, and because you guys keep ignoring when I mention it, that we have the main piece, and that is the
Yeah.
Messiah.
Yeah, he's
Well, the
I'm
Colts had
perfectly
Andrew
happy.
Luck, was even better prospect, and they did nothing with it.
yeah.
That can happen.
I'm perfectly happy with Drake May being that guy.
Thank
right
you,
now.
Timmy.
Yeah.
Joe, are you perfectly happy with Drake May?
Yes, I am. I just don't want to see an Andrew Luck situation.
Well, of course. Well, Andrew Luck got it right. He didn't get his supporting cast, and he suffered some
He
injuries.
had for years. He had the worst offensive line in the league
And he's yet
because
to get.
Hersey is even cheaper. If you
Well-
notice on all those Colts teams, even the great Colt teams, not a single guy wasn't drafted by them. They expected, he always expected their coaches to coach up every guy they draft. They didn't sign any free agents.
Bob Kraft is 83 years old. He's worth a net worth of over $12 billion. What is he saving the money?
What is that franchise worth?
Probably 5, 6.
5 or 6.
So
What is he saving his money?
So he's got a lot of money other than that too.
No, of course, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Myra's dad left him in good shape.
$12 billion. He's 83 years old. Really? You can't spend money on the team? Really? Is
Does
this what you want?
Does Jonathan have power of attorney yet?
Yeah, it's embarrassing. Look, I think when Jonathan gets the team, I think we're in big trouble. We're in big.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he's going to be a kind of guy that spends. I just don't think he is.
I
He
don't think
likes
he is
to
either.
hobnob with the Maras and the Rooneys. He likes to be NFL royalty.
Yeah. All right.
He doesn't care about the team winning or losing. He just cares about hanging out with the other owners.
We got to talk about the Red Sox. And first of all, to the audience, working on Timmy with the Red Sox is a full-time job. You have to punch in every day the time clock. He's so down on the Red Sox in every way, shape, or form. Netflix came out with this
already
short
out.
series. Did you watch the first episode, Joe?
I had it on in the background, and it just, runs over a lot of old ground, so I wasn't paying much attention.
Okay, but
We lived it.
first of all, I just wanna mention
Precisely.
Grady Little, as bad a manager as humanly possible, that they went through that whole situation in Game 7 with Pedro. Unconscionable that he did not replace Pedro. It was just unbelievable. And then they interview him, and he's a bigger asshole now than he was before.
Yeah. Well, he couldn't pull the trigger. We've seen this in not just in managers, we've seen it in general managers, we've seen it in players. They can't make the move they need to make. And he couldn't. Weren't you surprised by John Henry getting a big chuckle? He was excited about firing him.
John Henry said that while this was happening, he said, "Can we fire him right now before the game ends?" And then Warner said,
Okay, John Henry just gave me the first warm moment I've had about John Henry in about 15
and Warner said that they said when they took control of the team, they said that Grady Little is going to make a decision that's going to cost them big at some point. They knew that this fucking guy was a moron, and he really is. I mean,
he froze. He was a deer in the headlights at the most important moment.
And Pedro won.
Even people who never watched a game of baseball in their life knew that the move had to be made.
But he lied to Pedro because Pedro said, I'm good. I don't need to go into
Remember, he kissed it up to God on the way off to the dugout?
But then he said that Pedro said that Little said, just face Nick Johnson and then I'll take you out. He faced Nick Johnson. He got him out. This is the first guy. And then he looked to the dugout like, where are you? Why aren't you coming to get me? And he never came. And he just kept on putting him in there. And then Matsui was a joke.
He still had the velocity, but the ball was straight, had no action on it. It was batting practice.
I was surprised because Epstein said he was going crazy. I was surprised that Epstein literally would not have just gone to the clubhouse and said called for Grady Little to come in there.
Baseball etiquette. You know
Like,
what I
what the
mean?
fuck are you doing? You need to stop
Baseball
this.
etiquette.
It was really
Well,
tough to
you
watch.
remember they got nothing down in those dugouts. He probably can't communicate with them.
Yeah, no. I'm saying he could have gone into the clubhouse or something.
Yeah. Okay.
This was, I've never seen. It's as bad as, but I guess my point is, Timmy, you need to watch it. You need to love what you know the results. You don't have to worry. We win.
You know,
We
well,
win in 20.
the timing of this is incredible, right? As we're in the depths of our despair. It's like one of those prop writers for the Globe, pushing. It's like watching Nesson. Oh, we lost 12-2, but we hit 2 home runs. It's almost like they're trying to get us to look away. Hey, look at everything we did for you. We got you 4 World Series. How dare look at all these great memories we gave you. How dare you be critical of us now?
This isn't a Red Sox production, though.
I know it's not, but it feels like it is. You know what I mean?
Timmy, come on. You gotta let it go. First of all, we're not in the depths of despair completely.
With the Red Sox?
No, we're not.
Scotty, what world are you living in?
Timmy, they
Scotty,
went
that wallet isn't coming out of the pocket anytime soon. It will never come out of the pocket ever again.
They have some of the most exciting prospects that they've had in the
Scotty, come on, man. He's not gonna. Oh, okay, we have those prospects, and what are those? What does every great team that we've ever seen have? We've had those kind of guys surrounded by great free agents that were brought in.
That's what they talked about yesterday. They talked about the Red Sox. Yeah,
they're not gonna. He's not gonna spend the money. He won't.
I don't think you'll ever see them spend for like a Soto or a Johnny again. No, the big ones, no more.
Or a Judge, or someone of that caliber. They're just never gonna do it again. Yeah. Scotty, you gotta understand that. It's different now.
Well, baseball's different. Like we're still, we still think of starting pitching. You can see that baseball has abandoned the concept of the starting pitcher. If you've watched these playoffs at all, no one's got a starting pitcher anymore. No one. These guys are either a 3-out guy, a 6-out guy, or a 9-out guy. That's it. No one goes more than that.
The Red Sox have to get 2 star pitchers this year. Have to. But they're going to bow out when the money gets serious. They're going to bow out.
That's because no one is spending on those guys anymore. If you notice the last couple of years, no one has, and no one will.
Well, last year we could have got two or three guys, right, for relatively short money. They wouldn't even give the short money.
Yeah.
Right?
The starters, even the big ones, like you said, Joe, are going no more than 4 innings in these playoffs.
Yeah. It's an obsolete job description starting.
No, not the regular season, Joe. I mean,
but still, it's lessened to the degree that most guys only go the 5 innings, right? They go the 5 innings, and that qualifies them for a win, and they pull them.
So are you saying starting pitching is not important anymore?
It's of less importance than it used to be. That's just the way baseball has become.
No, look at those guys. What could we have had those? But you guys know the names.
You, me, and Scotty and Russ all come from the generations where starting pitching was important, the most important thing, and so we still hang on to it. But baseball's gone beyond it.
Scotty, I know you can name right off the top of your head 3 guys we could have easily afforded last year that would have made a difference.
Montgomery, Snell.
Well, look, I mean the Seth Lugo who pitched the Royals into the playoffs. We thought he was coming here.
And what could we have had? What could we have had?
He's a lefty.
What could we have had him
righty.
for?
Lugo's a righty.
Oh, that's right.
What could we have had him for?
Well, what was he, like $10 million a year? I don't even know if he was that.
Yeah, we're short.
Yeah. Who's the other guy? Montgomery and Snell.
No,
right?
Montgomery ultimately went for a lot of money, but there was this Lorenzen.
What's a lot of money
now?
Flaherty. What's a lot of money?
Well, no,
didn't he only get 2 years for 23?
Yeah, 20, like between that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
23 for 2 years, the 12, 11 a year, you know?
No one else on the other than the third baseman, no one else is making money on this team.
Yeah, the baseball is only spending money on position players right now, guys that play every day that they get 150
So
games out of.
we're paying Devers. Who else is? I mean, the shortstop is
Well,
obviously.
Sale, yeah, story, but Sale's money is off the books now, but they were paying him. Well, who else?
We should always be in the top 5 in payroll. Always with the prices they charge in the market that they are in.
Now we're
You
down in
know,
the middle. We're like 15.
Well,
Yeah.
Yoshida makes it 18 a year. He's another big one. And what was and other than that, Joe? I think nobody was over 10.
Yeah, no one was making big money last year.
Yeah. Now Sale's gone. Um, they'll probably try to get rid
Kenley's
of.
gone and Martin. They were the two highest price relievers.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, Kenley was at 16, right? Yeah. And then
No, he was only like 7, wasn't he?
no, Kenley was 16, I think.
Was he?
So
Well
get
worth it.
these. So who's ever out there for pitches available, wait till the negotiations with other teams get near the end, and then swoop in and scoop them up.
And,
We need them. We need them.
The nerds that run baseball now, the analytics say starters aren't important. That's why the price on them has gone down so much.
Well, our nerds have us not making the playoffs.
Right.
Hey boys, I
Yeah,
forgot.
and don't we still have the king of nerds, the guy that started it all?
Bill
On
James.
our payroll?
James, I don't know if he is.
Bill James?
Okay, guys, we forgot to do the predictions.
For the Patriots game?
Joseph, you were supposed to remind me. Come
Last
on,
week.
I was?
Hold on.
that's your
So
job.
last week.
We need the Secretary General to get his
What was the
pen
final
and
score?
paper.
What was the final score of the Patriots?
What was the
last
final
week?
score of the game?
Oh, I have no idea.
Wait, hold on. Patriots.
None of us were close.
No, I think I was pretty close. Patriots,
I had the Pats winning.
I think we all had the Pats winning.
Yeah.
41-21.
Scott, you had 31-28 Jags.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty good. Russell had Patriots 16-13. Joe, you had 2017 the Pats. I had the Pats 28-21.
You guys had
we all picked the Pats except for you. You picked the Jags 31-28.
You get the prize this week.
All right. Okay, let's go. Here we go. Jets, Patriots at home, which really doesn't matter. I just can't imagine going to that game this week. Rumors have it that what's their spread, Jimmy?
7.
DraftKings.
I think it's 7.
Tell you in a second here. NFL.
For a home team, but the last time the Jets controlled them, but the
7.
Jets
Jets are -7.
But the Jets are in disarray too, just firing their coach and everything.
Well,
so they're about the same.
The Patriots are just what they need.
Celtics are up by 10 at halftime, guys.
I should have jumped on that, Scotty.
Tatum's leading the way with 20 points. So there you go.
How many 3-pointers?
Great question. 9 for 21. Oh, so pretty normal.
Good. That's fine. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah.
All right. So this week, what do we got, Joe?
Okay, I'm looking for a low scoring game. The Patriots defensive line's been embarrassed by everyone this week, calling them terrible and soft, including the head coach. So I figure they're going to have to toughen up a little. Maybe the defensive secondary will actually make some tackles. I'm going to make it a low-scoring game, and the Jets win 13-10.
All right, Timmy.
I will say the Jets 28-10.
Right,
We love some Aaron Rodgers getting 4 touchdowns.
I'm going to say a really high-scoring game. I'm going to say that Jets win 31-24. What's the over/under?
It'll be very, very low, probably around 36.
No. What's it?
Well, I'll tell you right now. Hold on.
Mr. DraftKings, please tell us.
41.
Ooh,
I
I'll
take
take
that.
the under.
I take the over.
Bruins losing 4-1.
Yeah, Bruins aren't going to make the playoffs. They stink.
Monty might be the first coach
I
fired.
think they got to get the. I think they're going to gel. I like this team.
Yeah, well, they just lost the worst team.
I think they got to start beating people up. Is what they're going to start doing. They got to start utilizing that size they have. They
I
got to
think it's-
become mean Bruins machine. Is what
Yeah, I
they
think
got
it's
to
time for
Nashville
Monty.
hadn't won a game, and they went into Nashville and became the first team to lose to them
I
and
think
got
it's-
shut out 4-0.
I think Monty's going to go before mid-season. I don't think that
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
You know, who would they bring in though? I don't think there's no one in that I've seen mentioned as waiting in the wings or anything. And usually you have to have someone close to the team ready to go.
Well, Don
I think
Sweeney,
there's a lot of new faces. I think he's going to get them together. I like Monty.
Sweeney and Neely aren't going to take responsibility for anything. You know that.
Cam
No.
Neely's never taken responsibility for anything.
No, he's too busy going to get the Jacob slippers.
Hey, he's made a fine living over the
He
years.
knows where
doing
his
that.
bread is buttered. You know what I mean?
What do you think he makes a year?
Let me see if it has it on the internet here.
I don't think they list
Yeah.
management
He's
salaries.
got to be $1 million a year, right?
Oh,
Oh yeah,
mucho more.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
Cam Neely's salary.
They probably offered them that as the bonus for
He'd
signing.
be-
Remember, he
It
came
says
in
here,
and gave them credibility when they needed it.
He'd be owning a sporting goods store in Lawrence if it was. If it wasn't for that.
Well, actually, in Brookline, because he lived in Brookline when he wasn't.
Where do you live?
On Monmouth Street. You know where the Arts Center is? Right across
Yeah.
the street.
Wait, there's an article.
right.
Here. Oh no, that's
So near Fenway.
Yeah. I mean, geez, a hop, skip, and a jump to Fenway.
Oh yeah,
What,
you
Neely
pointed
lives-
out.
where does
It's
Neely
like a
live?
townhouse, right?
where does Neely live?
Well, he used to live in Brookline on Monmouth Street. I don't know where
We
he
parked
lives
over
now.
there. When we parked over there, you pointed
Yeah.
out. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. I know.
Okay,
George,
Neely's
go to
salary
those
calls for a
games.
base salary of $900,000 a year with incentives that carried into the four figures.
Who's this? Neely?
Oh no, that's different. That's an old contract. Yeah, they're not going to print his.
No.
Yeah, they never do say what they pay for,
Who
even
gets paid more,
coaches.
Neely or Sweeney?
Well, who's
Neely.
higher on the food chain?
Yeah.
Is
Neely.
Neely top? Whoever on the top of the food chain has to make.
Neely hired Sweeney, so Neely gets.
Yeah.
It's going to make sure he makes at least a couple bucks more.
All right, boys. Well, that's our show for tonight. That was fun. Please check us out on our website at thegrandstanders.com and tune in again next Thursday night at 7 o'clock for another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy night.